Hey everyone, Becky at hopeessential.com here, and it is week number 6 for holistic lifestyle tips, getting real about the woo-woo. And I developed this series to try to take the mystery out of what holistic means and what it means to have a holistic mindset and to live that lifestyle. I've done it over 25 years and I obviously believe in it and want to share what I've learned along the way. I own a wellness company called Hope Essential, which means I sell doTERRA essential oils and I educate about them. That's my favorite thing, is to educate. And then also I am a holistic lifestyle educator. I always wanted to be a teacher and I never was, but now I am. So it's sort of cool how things have worked out, and thought I'd be a social worker or a teacher, and I'm helping people with natural solutions, and my goal is to help people have a quality of life as they age, and the oils and the holistic mindset just mesh perfectly with that. So I feel very blessed to be able to do this. And I want to remind you, last week we talked about worry, getting a handle on worry, and how I did it through the help of a book. And it was just one part of it, just like there's no one magic pill for anything, one magic answer. And just because something works for me doesn't mean it will work for you, but I do hope that you try to open your mind to different things. And so tonight we're going to talk about sleep. And it's a subject near and dear to my heart because I have struggled with insomnia for, well, 30 years. I didn't struggle with sleep until I had children. And that's when worry started. And when they're little, you worry because you don't know why they're crying, what's wrong, and they can't tell you. And that's very um, frustrating, and you feel helpless. And I didn't have family around, so it was a little scary. And then when they got older, you lose all illusion of control and bigger worries. But then when I finally got a handle on the worrying, I still had trouble falling asleep because at that point I was actively trying to get published. And I wrote fiction, and those characters just would not be quiet. And unless you're a writer, you don't really understand that. But they kept talking to me, when I was trying to sleep, just so excited. And so I was having more migraines, or so tired I couldn't get through the day from not sleeping. And my health was really suffering. I tried everything over the counter. Some things happen. Some things would work for a little bit or take the edge off, but it wasn't enough. And it got so bad that I finally conceded that I had to go on a medication. And even though I didn't like the idea, I knew even then how important sleep was. So it was trial and error for a while, tried to figure out which one would work. And some had side effects, but worked. And I would need to try something else. Some just didn't work at all. And it was a very trying time. But then we finally found something that worked, that was a little unusual. And then I had to change doctors because of insurance, and they didn't agree with that and made me try other things, and it didn't work. And it was a very frustrating time. And then I got another doctor, and even though she didn't really like the idea, she conceded that is the only thing that worked for me. And I didn't know I had any other choices. I didn't know about essential oils or anything else. And so I just assumed I'd be on a medication till I died because I had to have sleep. And at that point, I didn't feel any side effects. So I just thought that's the only unhealthy thing in my body, the main thing. And I then moved to Tennessee. And I did not know about the drug abuse issue here. and no one, not one doctor, would prescribe it. And I was a little panicked, which made me wonder, do I have a drug issue? But I didn't, because I only took the lowest dose nightly to sleep. I've always been so engaged with life. I don't want to sleepwalk through life. Um, but doctors here didn't care if I'd never abused it. It just was too much of a hassle for them, a risk. And so I had to figure out something else. And although I knew the over-the-counter things didn't work, fortunately for me, someone at my office where I worked, she used doTERRA essential oils. And so she started giving me samples, and they took what she had given me, helped a little bit, but not quite enough. But I was grateful for any help. And then someone did a workshop there at the office on the oils, and then took the time afterward to sit down with me and ask me what my specific issues were, about sleep. And it was the racing brain. It just won't shut off, because now I'm not worried. I'm not writing. At that point I wasn't. But I was still, I guess it's just a habit at that point. I'm not sure why. It's just how I'm wired, I guess. And I could be falling asleep in the chair before bed, but the minute my head hits the pillow, my brain's off and running. So she explained that 2 oils, vetiver and cedarwood, are calming oils for the brain. And so I added those to the Serenity blend that had other oils that were very calming for the body and for the brain as well. But the cedarwood and vetiver are the main ones. And even though Serenity has those 2 in it now, I add extra because I'm such a hard case. And she also explained the pathways to the brain are your third eye, the back of your neck at the bottom, and then the bottom of your big toe. So because I'm such a hard case, I make up a roller bottle of diluted cedarwood and vetiver, and I apply those to those points as well. Now, most people can just diffuse lavender and they're sound asleep, but not me. Everyone is different. We all have our own issues. And so my routine up until a couple of months ago was to wait until about 10 minutes before bed, and then diffuse the oils and apply them to the points, and then just do some little deep breathing or something, and then go and try to go to sleep. And it just wasn't, I still wasn't falling asleep soon enough. I did eventually. I'm not worried anymore if I'm going to fall asleep, but it's just taking too long. So now I have finally given in to the idea of actually scheduling 30 minutes before bed. TV, phone is off, and I diffuse the oils. I listen to some affirmations, and I write in my gratitude journal for about 10 minutes. And then after that 10 minutes, the light is off, and I'm just listening to a guided meditation for about 10 minutes. I have to have someone talking me through it, because the brain just goes off on all these tangents otherwise. You may just need some, music that's very calming, but that does not work for me. So you have to have the patience and the commitment to find out what works for you. I can't have anything with the water, because then I'm just running off to the bathroom. So that defeats the purpose. So you find out what works for you. But I will say that since I've started that, I go to sleep much, much faster. And I love that idea. And I just want to say that if you are waiting until the last minute, if you are on your phone, have the TV on, and you're then rushing off to bed and you can't fall asleep, that's on you. You have to come up with some other habits that are going to help calm everything down beforehand. Now, not everyone has the issue of the racing brain. If you don't have any troubles falling asleep, then you don't even need to listen to this, but many of us do. And so you know the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So you've got to try to figure out what is going to calm your brain and help your whole body relax before you get to bed. And trust me, you're not going to miss anything. It'll be fine. And the thing that I hope you take away from this segment is you do have choices. I didn't know that, and 30 years ago, but I know now, so I am trying different things. You don't have the excuse anymore. If you've been listening to this tonight, you know that sleep is important. And if you've never heard this, I had it described one time where at night, your brain acts like a dishwasher and it flushes out the toxins that have accumulated through the day. And you can imagine what happens if you deprive yourself of sleep too often. And you're just going to have all this, all these toxins in your brain and building up. That is not good. And so the other part is not just your brain, but your entire body heals while you sleep. That is how it was designed. So don't tell me you'll sleep when you're dead, because that's crazy talk. I want you to have a quality of life as you age, and that is not going to happen, trust me, if you deprive yourself of sleep. And so one of the things they say is if you wake up tired, if you've slept for 8 hours and you wake up tired, then there's something, you're not getting into that deep sleep. So sleep is that could be another months worth of talk, but it is super important. And know that there are choices. I do free wellness consultations, and if you explain to me what your issues are, I can research which oil is going to help you. And there are other things as well. There's melatonin, there's other things you can do to help with your sleep, but just please, if nothing else, understand how important it is to your overall health. And so I would love to know what resonated with you tonight the most, if you had a takeaway at all. And then I would also love to know what you are going to do to ensure that sleep is a new priority for you, if it isn't already. What new habit are you going to start so that you can hopefully get that good night's sleep? So till next time, choose you, choose natural, choose now.